Here we have a new 2023 GMC Yukon XL Denali. This one comes with four-wheel drive in onyx black on jet black perforated leather interior. And the powertrain on this one is going to consist of a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And this is just an awesome, awesome looking SUV here. Coming around the front end here, we do get our signature Denali grille. We have LED daytime running lights along with LED headlamps, LED fog lights. And not a single, well, only see the black plastic down here, but everything else either gloss black or that chrome finish. So great job there. And these are gonna be a $3,000 optional wheel, the 22-inch gloss black. Fantastic look, especially with the black exterior and the black interior that I'm gonna show you in a minute. But we get passive keyless entry on all four doors. Power door lock controls are here, memory seat function here. We have power windows with one-touch automatic up and down for the front. And then we have a rear window lock here. Power mirror controls are here. You pick a side and you can turn those on and off and then adjust whichever way. And then they also power fold, and we have blind spot monitors there. Pretty good storage in the door panel here, bottle holder there. We get a 14-speaker Bose sound system. And over here we have our electronic parking brake. Press it to engage, hit the brake, press it again to disengage. Lane keep assist with lane departure there, parking sensors, auto stop toggle, traction control, downhill brake control, and then we can put up the 360 camera there. Head up display controls, four-wheel drive controls, and then we can go through our drive modes here. We have 4, normal, sport, off-road, and then our tow haul mode. And then we have our headlamp controls here and the brightness for the gauge cluster. And we have a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And here's our power driver seat with power lumbar support. Love that black leather, but I had that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rear leg room. So I'm gonna make sure the seat is all the way back, and it wasn't, so even more space, but tons and tons of room back here. 2 or 3 inches between my kneecaps and the back of the seat there. Seat back pockets on both sides, cup holders here, and then we do have an automatic climate control system for the rear. We can adjust temperature here, fan speed here, you put the auto mode on there, and then you can turn that off with the fan speed, and then you can toggle your modes here for where the air direction is going. And then we have 3-stage heated outboard seats, and then 2 USB-C charge ports there, and a 3-prong 120-volt household plug-in in there. It's a little dark down there, but then we do get pretty nice armrests on both of the captain's chairs. And I'm gonna go ahead and check out this rear leg room, so bear with me. And this one does have the optional all-weather floor liners, which I recommend, especially if you have kids, because this keeps you from getting extremely messy and it's easier to clean. But USB-C storage here. Pretty good leg room, honestly, for the 3rd row. And then again, same storage over here. Sorry if it's a little dark back here. We do have the LED map lights to light us up a little bit. And then my favorite thing about this is I can actually tumble those flat from right here, or if you're just reaching in from the second door, you can do that if you need additional storage. And then pretty easy to just grab it, fold it back up, and then slide it back. Grab handle there. You could probably hang 3-4 hangers on this hook here. And then if you ever need to fold it flat from the side, you can also just do that. And again, easy to just fold it back, and then you grab that and pull. Fuel fillers here, premium's recommended with the 6.2 liter. And then that exhaust sounds awesome. But there's the back end LED tail lamps. See if we can get a listen in here. So very nice growl in my opinion. And while that's opening, we'll take a quick look underneath the vehicle. There's a spare tire. That's where the exhaust is coming from. And then with this being an XL, tons of space behind the 3rd row. And then you even have additional hideaway storage underneath there. But another 3-prong household plug-in. We can tumble our 2nd row seats from here. And then we have power up and down seats for this 3rd row. And very easy to fold back and forth. But I kind of showed you how the seats fold and all that. So let's go to the front again. This is going to be the front passenger side. We get power with power lumbar again. It's always a plus. Some storage in here, lockable glove compartment, owner's manuals, decent sized glove box. Love the trim here, how they have that kind of black wood grain throughout, and it really goes with the rest of the interior and the outside. So I love how this is spec'd out, and I'll show you that here on the window sticker. And a huge shout out to GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this today, and I'll leave a link below to this vehicle as well as the rest of their inventory in the description. I should say I'll leave a link to this vehicle if it's still here, because these have been selling like hotcakes. But $89,630 is the MSRP. We do have the adaptive cruise control, sunroof, 22s. Like I said, that floor liner package, I recommend all of that pretty much. But all in all, I like how GMC has kind of kept the exterior styling up to date. I mean, they came hard when they redesigned it in 21 anyway, but just coming out with the ultimates and doing little things as the years have progressed to keep it competitive versus the Wagoneer, the Navigator, the Expedition Max, other vehicles in its class. And there's that 6.2 liter, mostly covered up, but sounds good. And I like how that hood closes as well. Let's hop in the driver's seat. So like I said, power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. What's great is it is heated. You hit that there. And with this one in particular, the padding isn't as thick as maybe in an Escalade, but I like that it's firm and easy to grip onto. Now going over here to the radio, we do get a 10.2 inch screen here. We have AM, FM, XM radio along with Bluetooth audio, and then we have Amazon Alexa, Google News, podcast, and we also get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto compatibility as well. And then with this new system, we do have the Google Assistant, which means we do get Google Maps. Now you do have to have a subscription for this. It's walking me through all of the prompts to get started, but the system itself I love. So if you need fuel, just hit that little gas pump there. It'll show you everything close, and then if it's applicable, it'll show you the price of that gas. And then same thing with shopping. It'll show up all the grocery stores. And then when you want to just type in a specific destination, pretty easy to do. And then it'll start pulling up suggestions as you get closer to finishing where you're wanting to go. So I can just hit SeaWorld, and then it'll show me, gives me the number, the address, and then it'll start me, and I'm good to go. Back to the home page here, we do have a Play Store as well if you want additional apps. Several camera angles. So this is going to be our front camera. There's our backup camera there. We have our close-up camera there. It's kind of a 360 view to make sure you're not getting too close to a wall or something. And then curbside view cameras. And just so much to really get into. Having that 360 there is super helpful. And then we do have our trailer lights that we can start a light test there. And then Wi-Fi hotspot. If you go into your settings here, easy to manage your Bluetooth connections, go to phones, and then hit add phone, and you can go through that whole process there. And then all of our other settings right through there. Now we do get dual zone automatic climate for the front. Like I said, the rear is also automatic. Now to get to the rear, you can just hit that and you can actually lock the rear passengers out if you want to, or sync it with the front so that you can kind of get an auto temp going. If you want everybody to be at 72, system's pretty responsive and very, very easy. And then I can power the whole system down, touch of a button again. And then there are those knobs there. We do have 3-stage heated and cooled seats for the driver and front passenger. And then we have, like I said, buttons and knobs down here. So even for the rear climate, I can control that all from right here. Volume knobs here, so we can adjust that. We can power the system, or mute the audio, excuse me. touch of a button, and then you have the shortcuts for the home page, the back page, and then you can use this as a tune knob. And then we do have a wireless charging pad here, a 12 volt, and then a USB-C, USB-A input for wired CarPlay or auto if you want to use that. And we can stow all of that away. Cup holders, and then center console cubby space, pretty good size there. We can stow all of this too. And up here, we have our universal home remote for the garage door. We have our power liftgate system here. We can power fold that third row up and down from up here as well. Premium dome lights, and then sunshade here, tilt sunroof, and then this is for the sliding sunroof, which I just did. So that's one touch, opening and closing that all the way back. Quick look at the back seat from up here. And then going back to the steering wheel, cruise controls here, heated steering wheel again, gap adjust for the adaptive cruise. And then to the right side, we have our mute button, voice recognition. Then we can use a scroll bar. You can click it, and you also have arrows here on the side. And all this to go through your gauge cluster. And you have several different settings to choose from. And then I can even go in here and turn on some more. So very easy to get used to. Over here, windshield wiper controls, auto mode. Then we have a low and a high for those. The rear wiper is right there. And then you can turn that on, intermittent off. And then rear wiper fluid is on either side there. High beams are here. And you can turn them all the way on there. And then front wiper fluid is hitting that side button. Now behind the steering wheel on the left side, you have track list or radio station presets you can toggle. And then behind the steering wheel on the right side, you have volume controls you can go through. Hazards are right here. And then heads up display. Let's see if I can turn this brightness up and zoom in. And there's that. And then finally, our push button start, the shifter, press P for park, pull up here for reverse, press here for neutral, pull up here for drive, and then press L, you can manually shift. And it'll show you in that bottom right corner of the gauge cluster. And then we do have the center console cubby space. And one thing I forgot to mention about that was hit this right here. And then you have additional hidden storage. That moves further to the back, and you can just pull this out here and a whole hidden storage tray there. So I love that, because you kind of have to know exactly where that is and what it does. Otherwise, you'll never know how to get to it. And then here's our key fob with remote start. But next it's time to take this 2023 GMC Yukon XL Denali out on the road for a test drive. So similar to the Escalade, the Yukon XL, especially with this Denali and everything that comes on in terms of added suspension, damping, and all of that, ride is absolutely fantastic. And coming out of the stoplight there, the auto stop let off pretty easily, which can't be said all the time, so I'm impressed by that. I'm not gonna give it full throttle, but I am gonna put it into sport mode and just give it a little push of the pedal. I took that bump very well. And the 10-speed shifts are very nice, very clean, very crisp. Gonna put on the adaptive cruise now. And I'm gonna put it back into normal mode. And I'll just show you how the lane keep assist ping me back in. So it gets the job done. It's no super cruise, but it's good. I'm getting right at that 16 miles per gallon, doing 75 up this incline. So I can expect to get that 18 miles per gallon highway that the EPA says this should get. But fantastic ride coming down the interstate here. Almost as good as the Escalade I just drove. And the Yukon floats, but it also feels solid as well. which is something you don't come across very often. So for me, 9.8 out of 10 for the ride quality. I don't even know if I've ever been in a 10 riding vehicle, but this has been one of the best rides ever, just in terms of comfort. And the brake pedal's pretty nice for an SUV like this. Don't have to put my foot all the way into it, but it's not too, it doesn't bite too much either. There's the auto stop. So in terms of competition, I'm thinking the Expedition Max Platinum King Ranch, somewhere around there, is going to be the biggest direct competitor. And then some might even say the Land Rover Defender 130, that longer wheelbase Defender, would be a competitor. And then of course the Navigator L. And there really is not, there aren't a lot, but there are some competitors that are bigger SUVs that have 3 rows and then tons of space behind the 3rd row. But for me, I like the Yukon XL Denali. I like all the features that come with it. I like that it's not necessarily a 6-figure sticker price yet, even though it's only 10 grand cheaper. But the seats feel fantastic. I love having cooled seats here. The steering wheel's heated. The panoramic sunroof. The options on here are really nice as well. I love having the power retractable running boards. I wish I had Super Cruise, but if you want that, you just pay another 3 grand. For some it's worth it, for others it isn't. When you think about it, for how much the full self-driving was for Tesla, I don't even know how much that is. I know it got up to like 10 grand. I mean, 3,000 is not bad for Super Cruise, and I feel like it's a much better system. I should say a safer system. But this rides, I can't say enough about the ride. It rides so well, and it actually feels good to drive as well. The steering is in between, perfectly in between tight and flimsy. So it doesn't feel like a sports car, but it also doesn't feel like a 90s Cadillac with the shocks out. Just a great steering feel. And overall, in terms of the Google Assistant system, love the system. Don't like the idea of having to pay for a nav subscription, but if it beats me having to pay another $500 and I can just pay however much a month to use something the 2 or 3 times I'll use the whole time I have the vehicle, that's a pretty good bargain when you think about it. But all in all, still one of the best choices for a 3-row SUV if you need that additional space. And this will bring me to the end of my review of this new 2023 GMC Yukon XL in the Denali trim level.